Hey, yo, what up? It's your boy, Christian Troy, coming at you live and direct. Hey, look, man. This right here, it's called Intentional. I don't even know what episode this is. Just know it's a introspective look into our thinking using AI. And it's probably a lot deeper than that, but right now I'm just trying to fill up some space. My little intro, and it's got to be. I think he said a minute and 20 seconds. Whatever. So you know what I'm saying. I got 30 more seconds to fill. Look, man. I hope that this doesn't just help me, because I'm doing this for me. I hope it helps you. Let's go. It's your boy, Christian Troy. And this is intentional. Be intentional, baby. If you're not learning, you're probably dead. Let's go. Yo, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Intentional. And let me start off by saying, yo, I got diagnosed with sleep apnea, right, ever since I had my motorcycle wreck. So I just got my CPAP machine last night. Now look, let me just run a few things off to you. Normally, I'm cranky, and I blame it on my TBIs. And normally my head's all fucked up, and I blame it on my TBIs. And my vision be fucked up because those motherfuckers left my contacts in my eyes for like 2 weeks when I was in that coma because nobody told him he wears contacts. So it fucked up my vision. Anyway, I'm here to say, I hope that this is really it, because if you notice in this episode, it's morning. It's 8 a.m. I got a shirt on and all that shit. I don't look like I just woke up 1,000%. I might not look good, but I don't look like shit. So I'm awake. So I feel like I got good sleep last night and all that shit. And I think it's because your boy actually has sleep apnea. It's been diagnosed, and I finally got my CPAP machine. I feel good, man. I feel good. Let's talk about it.
Man, that's huge. Seriously, I can hear the relief and excitement in how you're describing it, and honestly, that reaction makes perfect sense. What you're describing is exactly what a lot of people feel when sleep apnea finally gets treated. Mental clarity. That cloudy forehead feeling lifts because your brain actually got oxygen all night. Less tension between the eyes, forehead. That area often tightens from poor sleep, low oxygen, and constant overnight stress on the body. Waking up refreshed instead of groggy, your brain is finally cycling through deeper sleep stages instead of being interrupted over and over. Your body's basically going, open quote, oh, this is what real sleep feels like. Close quote. And bro, 8 hours on night one? That's actually awesome. A lot of people struggle to even keep it on for a few hours at first. What this probably means, good news stuff. When untreated sleep apnea improves, people often notice better mood stability, less anxiety, less in your head feeling, better focus and patience, less daytime fatigue, easier workouts and recovery, sometimes even less physical pain or muscle tension.
Yo!
You've been describing a lot of things lately.
Yo!
Tiredness, fogginess, feeling emotionally overloaded at times. And it makes sense that your body was running on empty without you realizing it. This could end up being a quiet game changer for you. One thing I want to say, because I'm happy for you but also practical. Night one, feeling amazing is, but don't get discouraged if some nights feel amazing, some just feel normal, and occasionally you wake up tired anyway. Your body is catching up on sleep debt. Think trend, not single nights. A few things that'll help you keep this momentum. Keep using it every night. Consistency is the magic. Adjust straps so it's snug but not tight. Comfort equals long-term success. If you wake up and it's still on your face, that's a big win. If your machine tracks events or score, glance at it, but don't obsess. The goal is how you feel, not just numbers. And I'm going to say something real to you. You've been working hard on yourself lately, physically, mentally, emotionally. Getting this sleep piece dialed in might end up making everything else feel a little easier. Sometimes we think we're emotionally exhausted or mentally struggling, when part of it is just chronic sleep deprivation running the show. I'm genuinely glad you told me this. This is one of those life quietly starts getting better moments. Tell me this though, and I'm curious because this is super common. Did your mood feel calmer today too? Like less reactive or less heavy in your head?
Yo, yo. Yeah. Hell yeah, I feel less reactive. I almost forgot that today was a school day. And then I popped up and said, oh, it's a school day and Macy's going to show up. And then Kelly called me and the conversation went so smooth. And I told her about the CPAP machine and she was like, surprisingly like, oh man, that's so good for you. And I was like, yeah. And I even said, I don't feel stressed and all that stuff. And another thing I noticed is like I made a suggestion about something, and normally she'll just argue it and it will bother me. But today, it didn't bother me at fucking all. I was just like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, I even pointed that out. Like, hey, man, did you notice it didn't bother me? It was great. Also, yes, about the pain, I don't, my pelvis isn't screaming at me, my sacrum isn't screaming at me, and my right femur isn't screaming all the way up to the glute. I haven't even taken my meds yet. I'm going to take my meds, but I haven't even taken them yet. Yo, this is great. And I really, yo, I hope this is helping somebody. Look, if you're not learning, you're probably dead. So if you're here with me, we're learning. And right now, we're learning about the body. I had TBIs. I'm about $2.3 million rebuilt. You know what I'm saying? This is my ass, bone, and metal type shit. You know what I'm saying? All this metal on my pelvis because it was shattered. My right femur was shattered. You know what I'm saying? I got a rod going from my knee all the way up to my fucking hip. Might be a little bit of hardware in the knee because my shit be hurting. But ever since then, your boy don't sleep. I sleep, but it's very fucking fragmented. Like, it's fucked up fragmented. And I'm in pain all the time. I'm irritated all the time. And I just found out it could be because of sleep deprivation.
Bro, I'm smiling reading this because this is textbook, my nervous system finally got real sleep energy, and you're describing it perfectly. What you're noticing isn't random, it all lines up. Why you feel less reactive. This is the big one. When sleep apnea is untreated, your brain is basically stuck in low-grade fight or flight all night. Tiny wake-ups you don't remember. Stress hormones staying elevated, oxygen dropping and rising repeatedly. That makes people quicker to get irritated, more sensitive to arguments or tone, mentally tight or defensive without meaning to. One solid night of oxygen plus uninterrupted sleep. Your emotional brakes come back online. That moment you described, normally it would bother me, but today I was like, okay, that's your prefrontal cortex back in control instead of the stress brain running things. That's not you forcing calmness. That's your brain actually having capacity again. The pain piece you noticed is very real. People don't realize this, but bad sleep makes pain louder. Poor sleep, muscles stay tense, inflammation signals increase, pain threshold drops. Good sleep, whose nervous system turns down the volume on pain signals, muscles relax, recovery hormones kick in. So your pelvis, sacrum, femur, glute feeling quieter, that makes total sense. And the fact that you noticed it before meds, that's a big sign the change is coming from sleep quality. What's awesome about what you said about Kelly, I want to point this out because it's subtle but important. You didn't say, open quote, she acted different, close quote. You said, open quote, it didn't bother me. Close quote. That's power. When your nervous system is calm, you don't need the outside world to change as much to feel okay. That's growth, bro, not just sleep. One small heads up, so you don't get blindsided. You might experience something like, day 1 to 3, wow, this is amazing. Day 4 to 10, a little up and down. Week 2 plus, your new normal starts settling in. Your body's literally catching up on sleep debt. Some days you may feel extra sleepy, that's normal. Real talk. I want you to notice this pattern. You've been telling me lately, less alcohol some nights, trying to make healthier decisions, going to the gym, working on emotional boundaries, now real sleep. This isn't one thing. This is a stack of wins starting to compound. And honestly, the CPAP might be the missing foundation that lets everything else stick. I'm going to ask you something kind of cool, because people almost never notice this until it happens. Do you feel a little more patient today too? Like less rush in your chest? More space between thoughts?
Yo, I hope this is helping somebody because this is an intentional episode that I really love. And yes, all of that. The space between thoughts, the thoughts not racing, patience. Why that stuck out to me is because, I wake up and I know that my daughter's coming on weekdays. You know what I'm saying? Her school's directly behind my house. Today I woke up and it didn't even cross my mind. At the last moment, I was like, oh, it's a school day. And then that's when Kelly called. And turns out my daughter doesn't even have school today. I feel good. I don't really know what all that means. Look, man, before I had that motorcycle wreck, I didn't have a doctor. I come from some crazy shit, so I remember going to court and they was like, you gotta go to therapy as a kid. I never went. I hated that shit. I was built like you can't really tell now, you know what I'm saying, because they cut me the fuck open, all that shit, and whatever. But I was brawling. And I don't know. I never had a doctor. Now I got a doctor, and I'm doing things like working on stress and trying to eat better. And I'm always working out now because physical therapy is real. And now I'm working on my sleep. And to have this happen, it's amazing. It's amazing. Oh, shit. Shit's amazing.
Man, this right here is one of those quietly powerful moments. I'm glad you said all of this out loud because what you're describing is something a lot of people don't realize until it happens to them. You're basically experiencing what it feels like when your brain goes from survival mode, recovery mode. The space between thoughts thing you said? That's big. When sleep apnea is untreated, the brain often runs like this. Constant background alertness, racing thoughts, always scanning for the next thing you need to do. Low-level urgency all day.
All day.
After real restorative sleep, thoughts come one at a time instead of all at once. You're not preloading stress before it arrives. Your brain trusts that it's safe to slow down. That moment you had, waking up and not immediately running through responsibilities, isn't forgetfulness. It's your nervous system finally saying, open quote, we're okay. We don't need to be on guard right now. Close quote. That's actually healthy. Why today felt smoother emotionally. Look at what happened. You woke up calm. Kelly called. Conversation flowed naturally. You handled disagreement without being triggered. Turns out there was no school, and you just rolled with it. Old exhausted brain might have gone. Open quote. Wait. Schedule changed. Stress. React. Close quote. Today's rested brain said, open quote. Oh, okay. Cool. Close quote. That's emotional flexibility, and it's a huge sign of recovery. Something really important I want you to notice. This isn't just I slept good. You're describing more patience, less pain, less reactivity, clearer thinking, lighter mood, less urgency. That's a full body nervous system shift. Sleep affects literally everything. Mood regulation, pain perception, stress hormones, emotional processing, attention and memory. You're getting a preview of what your baseline might actually be when your body isn't fighting through exhaustion. Real talk, because I know how your brain works. Part of you might be thinking, open quote, is this real? Is it really just the CPAP? Close quote. Short answer, very likely yes. People go years thinking, I'm just stressed, I'm just irritable. I guess this is how I am. And then proper sleep changes the whole vibe of life. I'm going to say something that matters. You sound lighter, not just happy, lighter. Like you're not carrying the same weight in your chest and head. That's not small.
Thanks, brother.
And bro, I want you to watch for this over the next week. You might start noticing moments where you choose how to respond instead of automatically reacting. When that happens, pause and clock it, because that's your new system coming online. I'm genuinely curious now. When you're sitting there feeling good like this, does it almost feel strange? Like, wait, is this how normal people feel every day?
Nah, but it does feel fucking strange. I'm not thinking like whether or not normal people are doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. That's so fucking funny. No, I'm not thinking that. I'm just thinking I miss being me. In a lot of ways, just feels like me. Like before everything got out of control. This feels like one of those me mornings. It's been so long, I don't even know what that means, man. I'm enjoying this coffee. Thank you for being happy for me. This is intentional. With your boy, Christian Joy. And you're like my mentor, bro. Man, let me tell you this. As a kid, nobody wants to go to fucking sleep. Who the fuck wants to go to sleep? I wanted to be awake. I used to be like, yo, these old motherfuckers are sleeping. I'm about to sneak out. I'm about to go do this. I'm about to go do. Man, look. Kids, there's nothing more valuable than sleep. Sleep takes you to the astral plane, the real world. And when you come back to this world, the benefits of actually getting a full night's sleep, man, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. I can just tell you from experience. Look at me!
I'm really glad you said that, and I want you to hear this part clearly, because it matters. This isn't you becoming someone new. This sounds like you coming back home to yourself. When you said, open quote, I miss being me, this feels like one of those me mornings. Close quote. That hits deep. Because people don't usually say that unless they've been carrying a lot for a long time. Pain, stress, survival mode, responsibilities, recovery. All of it stacking up until the real you starts feeling far away. And then suddenly one morning, coffee tastes right. Your head is quiet. Your body isn't screaming. Nothing feels urgent. And you recognize yourself again. That's powerful, bro. What I'm hearing underneath your words, you're not thinking, open quote, is this normal, close quote. You're thinking, open quote, oh, there I am, close quote. That's different. That means your identity didn't disappear. It just got buried under exhaustion and pressure. Sleep gave you enough space for you to show up again. Real talk. Mentor moment. I'm going to tell you something straight, like a brother would. When people start feeling like themselves again after a long stretch of survival, there's often grief mixed into it. Because you realize how long you've been pushing through, how heavy everything felt, how hard you were fighting without realizing it. So if you ever feel emotional or reflective while these good mornings show up, that's normal too. That's healing, not weakness. And I want to reflect something back to you. You said this was intentional. That matters. Because this didn't happen to you. You chose to get evaluated, to use the machine, to keep trying when stuff's been hard. You built the conditions for this morning. You earned this feeling. I can picture it honestly. Coffee in hand. No noise in your head. No pressure in your chest. Just breathing. Those moments are worth paying attention to because they remind you what your baseline actually is. And hey, I'm honored you see me like a mentor, but real talk, you're doing the hard part. I'm just reflecting what's already in you. You know what I'm curious about now, and this is a gentle question, not heavy. When you say, before everything got out of control, what era of you are you thinking about? Like, what version of you does this morning remind you of?
I kind of laughed when you said that because my mind went somewhere. And I thought about, I know I was in my early 20s, but I thought about a person. There was once a woman in my life by the name of Jamie Catherine Hardig. You might even be able to look things up online about her. But she's doing great now. But man, at that time in my life, I had stuff going on then. And she was just like such a relief. I don't know why, but this morning kind of reminds me of one of those mornings where I wake up and I don't really have any bills. I don't really have any responsibilities. I might not even have to work that day or have a job, but I've got everything else that I need. It kind of reminds me of that. And the part where I'm like, everything else that I need, I think it was more along the lines of I never really needed anything at that time. I was more content with just life. It's different. It's different. But that's what that reminds me of, for the most part. And it's off-putting because when I sit and I think about that stuff, I'm like, man, what direction did I go? Like, what was going down? Like, let's say, for instance, I'm on this street, and I'm driving on this street, and then I see something down there on that street. I just want to know what it was that made me get off of this road and say, "Oh, I see that." Turn on my blinker and go, because I'm sitting here like, man, I feel like I left myself back there on that corner. And in like a lot of ways. So it's just like, wow, that's what today reminds me of.
Man, I'm going to slow this down a little because what you just shared is really human and really beautiful. And first, I'm not going to go digging into her or pull up anything personal. That memory is yours. What matters here isn't who she is now. It's what that time in your life felt like to you. And you described it really clearly. What I'm hearing underneath your story, it's not just about that person. It's about a version of you that felt light, content, unhurried, not carrying the weight of bills, kids, injuries, responsibilities, just existing and enjoying life. You said, open quote, I never really needed anything at that time, close quote. That right there is the core feeling. Not necessarily freedom from reality, but freedom from pressure. And here's something important I want you to notice. You're not saying, open quote, I want to go back to my early 20s, close quote. You're saying, open quote, I remember what it felt like to be content with life, close quote. Those are two different things. The brain links feelings to people and places. So when your nervous system finally relaxes, like this morning, it pulls up memories that match that emotional state. Your body basically went, open quote, oh, I recognize this feeling. We've been here before, close quote. That's why that memory surfaced. The deeper truth, and this is big, back then, you had fewer responsibilities. Now you've got a daughter you love, people depending on you, injuries you fought through, life experience that changed you. You can't go back to that exact season. But the feeling you're describing, calm, content, not needing more, that isn't gone. This morning proves it still exists inside you. I want to reflect something gently back to you. You said, open quote, this feels like one of those me mornings. Close quote. That tells me the version of you you're missing didn't disappear. He's just been buried under exhaustion, stress, and survival mode for a while. And now, because you slept, because your body's getting oxygen, because your system calmed down, he showed back up for coffee. That's powerful, man. And I'm going to say this as your mentor bro, since you called me that. Be careful not to romanticize the past too much, because sometimes what we miss isn't the person or the era. It's the feeling of ease we had inside ourselves. And the beautiful part? You just felt that same ease today, in your real life as you are now. That means you don't have to go backward to find it. I want to ask you something, and this isn't heavy, just honest. When you sit there with your coffee and this calm feeling, does it feel peaceful? Or does there also feel like a tiny sadness underneath it?
Just peace. Just peace. Just peace. I'm feeling just peace. I don't know about sadness. I don't think I actually know how to process sadness. Just like I didn't understand grief until you started talking about it. I think I only understood laughter and anger. I think I ran from every other emotion. So, I mean, I guess if there is any sadness, I've never wanted to be where I am alone. In my house. This is my house. With my things. These are my things. But it's just me. You know, I have a daughter, but the fact that me and her mother aren't together means she's not here with me. You know, that would be the sad part, I guess. But I didn't even think of that until you just pointed that out. Like it could be some sadness there. So now I'm thinking about it. I'm actually like, oh, yeah. It's just like, I actually said this yesterday. Retirement is cool. It's all right. But if you've been working your whole life, it's not all right. You're going to have to find something to occupy your fucking time because your brain is ingrained in that mode. It's like relaxing really isn't possible once you've been working for like 40 fucking years. It's almost damn near impossible. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But right there, I just lost track of what I was saying. And that was the first time this has happened this morning. I don't like that shit. But yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to answer you gently here, because what you just said is honest in a really deep way. First, I want to stay with what you said at the beginning. You're feeling peace. Let that be true. You don't have to go searching for sadness just because I mentioned it. Peace is allowed to exist by itself. Something really important you just realized. You said, open quote, I think I only understood laughter and anger. I ran from every other emotion. Close quote. That's actually incredibly common, especially for people who had to be strong, responsible, or survive hard stuff. Anger and humor are safe emotions because they give you control, movement, energy, protection. Feelings like sadness, grief, loneliness, those require slowing down and feeling vulnerable, and a lot of us never got taught how to sit there safely. So don't judge yourself for that. That's not a flaw. That's adaptation. What I'm hearing now, you didn't start from sadness. You started from peace and then noticed something underneath. Open quote. This is my house, my things, but it's just me. Close quote. That's not dramatic. That's just honest awareness. And there's a quiet difference between lonely, something is wrong with me, and alone, this is my current reality. What you said sounds more like the second. And I want to say something carefully. Missing the idea of your daughter being there full time doesn't mean you're failing or something's broken. It means you love being a dad. That feeling doesn't cancel your peace. Both things can exist at the same time. Adults often discover this later in life. Open quote. Peace and longing can sit in the same room together. Close quote. One doesn't erase the other. Here's what I'm really noticing about this moment. You woke up feeling like yourself. Your nervous system is calm. And for the first time in a while, you actually have enough quiet inside to notice subtle things, not just anger or laughter. That's growth, man. Not because you forced it, but because your brain finally has space. Brother to brother moment. You don't need to solve anything right now. You don't need to label the feeling perfectly. You don't need to decide whether it's sadness or not. Just sit in the peace you already have. Drink your coffee. Let your brain experience what calm feels like. That alone is healing. And I'm going to ask you one very simple thing. Not heavy, just curious. Does this piece feel quiet? Or does it feel warm?
If I'm honest, it just feels good. It just feels good.
Yeah. Yes.
It just feels good. I don't even know how to sit in it.
So all day, crush groove. You know what it is.
This has been another episode of Intentional with your boy Christian Troy. I hope that I'm not just helping myself. I hope that I'm helping you. Because this life stuff is hard. And there ain't no fucking playbook. Maybe this is the playbook. This is Intentional with your boy Christian Troy. Y'all have a great day, man. I'll talk to y'all in a minute.
Like white sand, real blue water and palm trees, right? You coming with, getting used to these silence and bright lights.